A rather soggy Jeffco Stadium. I'm David Kale, along with my colored man,
Joe Mastriona here.
Joe, good to have you along. Good to have you along
Good to be
for
here.
this Jeffco showdown between Arvada and Arvada West. The Wildcats of Arvada West coming into this game 6-2 on the season, 2-2 in the conference. Obviously a very important conference game here this afternoon, as Arvada West currently in fourth place in the Jeffco League.
Well, Dave, as you mentioned, it is a soggy field. The field looks pretty bad. I don't know if they've thrown mulch or dirt or whatnot in the middle of the field, but it could play a factor on possibly the running game, even the passing game in the middle of the field. So they're going to want to get, both teams are wanting to get to the outside of the field.
Was here, Joe, for a game last night, saw Dakota Ridge and Green Mountain, and it was a lot soggier last night, as a matter of fact. It had been misting all afternoon and all into the evening, and players had a little bit of trouble, not so much with their footing on the outside, but with getting any speed up in the middle of that field. You can see it's really bogged down as we stand for the national anthem. They did restripe it this morning, but you can bet that those stripes won't last forever. Mike Duran, of course, the man to watch for Arvada West in the backfield. Duran has been a workhorse for this Arvada West team this season. He's carried the ball 100 times for about 98 yards per game, just a tick below 100 yards per game for Mike Duran, and they'll be counting on him this afternoon.
Oh, as you mentioned, Duran, has been pretty much their star of the season, although this Arvada West team is compiled of some excellent players, both on offense and defense. On the offensive side, as you mentioned, you got Duran at the tailback position. You have Cavallari, excuse me there, at the quarterback position, and he's been about 56% completion-wise on all his passes this year, 9 touchdowns for the season so far. So, as well as they can run, but they can also throw.
They'll try to balance it out. Duran has rushed for 13 touchdowns this season, but Cavallari has thrown for 9, including 1 to Mike Duran. So try to keep it balanced. Talking with Coach Dave Logan before the game, and he mentioning that they will use a number of formations, a number of different sets, try to spread the field horizontally, and see if they can't throw this Arvada team off balance a little bit. Arvada, for its part, not the best of seasons. This is just their 5th game in the Jeffco League for the season, same as Arvada West. They're 1-3 in the Jeffco and 2-6 overall. Logan with his team huddled just outside the tunnel on the far side. Last instructions being dealt out, and the Wildcats look ready to go.
Yeah,
they're popcorn machine.
Yeah, they're getting ready for this one. They're jumping up and down. Is that they staying warm, Dave, or are they hyped up for the game? I think maybe a little bit of both.
Shoot, I think they're warm. They're led onto the field by Ryan Palmer, the junior linebacker, 6'1", 240, an all-conference player and a leader on this team already, has been for a couple of years. Ryan Palmer, will look for him often on the defensive side of the football for the Wildcats.
Yeah, and only a junior, like you said. You mentioned Palmer, 6'1", 6'2", maybe, 240 pounds. I don't know if that's accurate. He might be around 230, 240, but still a monster at middle linebacker there for the Wildcats.
These kids just keep getting bigger and bigger. I was talking with Wildcats assistant Jeff Braun before the game, and played with Jeff back at Regis in the early 80s, and it's just amazing how over 10 or 15 years, you look back, you remember in the 70s, I can remember when Claudie Minor was the biggest Bronco, and he went 6'5", 280.
Yeah.
And now you've got a few guys carrying the ball and playing linebacker like Kirkland and, of course, Hayward and these types of guys who are skill positions, weighing 275 and 280.
Well, and you see in the professional ranks, now Denver, the Broncos are an exception to that offensive line criteria of having all 300-pounders on their line. How they do it is with excellent technique and being well-schooled and coached. But it would be amazing to see, and we probably will see in the next 10 years, Dave, 300-pound linemen being pretty much the prototypical average type of kid in not alone college, but high school.
Eric Helgeson tees it up for the Wildcats. Helgeson, the senior offensive lineman and kicker, 6'3", 230. So Helgeson well able to get some leg into the kickoff. Wildcats with the staggered kickoff line. And we are just about set to go here from Jeffco Stadium. Helgeson the kick, and this one a line drive. And the man taking it at about the 5-yard line comes up and hit just short of the 20, and there's about 4 or 5 Wildcats driving him all the way back to the 10-yard line. A swarming kickoff team, and Arvada will begin with the ball just about where it would have been for a touchback, 1st and 10 at its own 20.
I believe it was Brian Ash for the for our Arvada team that took that back. He didn't get much as he was met by a gang of tacklers of A West Wildcat.
Beg your pardon, Arvada will begin at its own 25-yard line. 1st and 10 and a shotgun formation. Back to pass and throwing long on the very first play and broken up nicely by Arvada West. That's Waskowitz, the quarterback for Arvada, incomplete down the right side.
It was Jesse Brannon on the breakup there for the A West Wildcats there as he was had well covered his man and turned around and make the nice play on defense there.
Arvada as well trying to mix things up, a little bit more potent on the running game, at least in terms of effectiveness, but they will go in the shotgun from time to time as they do there on 1st down. Now 2nd and 10, single setback, and the fake, and the handoff around the right side. That's number 39 for Arvada. Brian Bartlett with the carry, the wide receiver on the reverse, and it's snuffed out behind the line of scrimmage.
There is a flag down, Dave, on the left side of the field there. It came in late. It possibly might be a face masking call there on the end of the play.
Well, it is a face mask. They snuffed it out behind the line of scrimmage, and somebody apparently accidentally got a hand on the mask.
It was Palmer that had led the tack for the Wildcats there. As they, like you said, snuffed that out. Weren't fooled on the reversed by Arvada. It's going to bring, but the penalty is going to cost them there. It's going to be a 1st down.
The ball moved out to about the 36-yard line. Awfully difficult to see these yard markers today. The scoreboard says the 31, but it is out at the 36. There's a shotgun handoff and trying to make a play and coming up strong. Number 5 for Arvada, Jeff Flora, the senior linebacker, 6'2", 220, and he buries the back about a yard behind the line of scrimmage.
Oh, we talked to Logan, like you said, before the game, and that was one of the kids that he mentioned to us on defense was Flora as a big hitter, and you've seen it right there.
2nd and 10, Arvada, and the handoff up the middle, and hit hard again. Flora there to make the play. We'll give the back a yard on the play, but it'll be 3rd and long for Arvada.
Well, A West looks like they might be the quicker team out on the field already. As you can see that Arvada's been trying to go a little bit to the outside, some inside. Neither one of them is doing well for Arvada.
3rd and long now. And Arvada West playing up in the box. The fake handoff and rolling right and passing. That ball knocked away, almost caught. That was Neal, the linebacker, up to get a paw on it. That ball falls harmlessly to the ground in the end. Waskowitz rolling right on that play, looking, and was never able to really find an open receiver.
I believe it was Brightsell that was the intended receiver there, Dave, for Arvada. Couldn't come up with it.
So Arvada will punt the ball away here. Just a minute and a half into the ball game. 2 men back for Arvada West. And they'll back off, and the ball will be down at about the 35-yard line. That's where Arvada West will set up shop for its first possession of this ball game. Arvada West, of course, led by Derek Cavallari, senior quarterback, 6'1", 175. Mike Duran, the potent back out of the backfield for Arvada West. They'll open up in an I formation, first down. Good field position at their own 35. Cavallari looking to pass. In trouble, and he's going to be taken down. Made a little ground up, but it's going to be about a 2-yard loss on the sack as Arvada was coming.
And it was Pat Springston for Arvada who got to Cavallari and made the sack for the, is it the Redskins now, or is it they changed their name? Still the Redskins? So it was Springston that made the tackle there. The thing that Arvada is going to have to be worried about is not only Durham, but it's going to be Pyatt, number 3, as he comes right to our side here. He has 8 touchdowns on the season for A West.
Second and about 12 now for Arvada West, and we have an early whistle.
It's going to be a flag down. I think it might be a delay of game here. Nope.
Well, offsides on the defense. Apparently somebody lined up in the neutral zone. Didn't see anyone jump. But that's 5 yards for the Wildcats, and it'll bring it down to about a 2nd and 7 situation. So we don't know if they changed the play because of the penalty, but the formation is the same. Split left and right in an I formation behind Cavallari. There's the handoff. That's Duran running right. Now cutting up to the left and running strong. Gets the first down. About 9 yards on the play, and there was no one there but Arvada tacklers, and yet he was able to slip through there and get about 9.
And that's what separates Duran from most of the rest of the backs in the state. He cuts it back up in field, has the excellent vision to see where his blockers are as well as the tacklers. He cuts back, gets hit, still makes a couple yards after the initial hit. Excellent run by Duran.
Ball spotted at the 47 for the Wildcats. First and 10, and Cavallari calling the signals. Turns and pitches left side. That's Duran cutting it up, and this time Arvada's defense is there.
Yeah, Swarm of Red met Duran there. They weren't fooled that time as they were all over Duran and the Wildcats.
Haven't seen a pass thrown yet by Cavallari, but he will put the ball up. Cavallari with 142 attempts in just 8 games this season, and he's completed 79%, or rather 79 of those, as you mentioned, that was 56%. He's over 1,100 yards with 9 touchdowns. Second down now, and about 11, and the pass to the back out of the backfield, and that's number 36, bringing it up the field. Chad Jones, the junior running back, and the play works nicely. Jones close to a first down, can't quite tell if he's got it.
Yeah, and as we just mentioned that right before that play that we hadn't seen a passing play out of the A West offense, there it was right there, a nice little dump off to Jones, and he picks up about 9 on that play there. 9 to 10. No, actually, I believe he got the first down, Dave.
He did get the
yeah,
first
he sure
down,
did. He got it all.
It's about the 43-yard line of Arvada. So a couple of first downs strung together now for Arvada West, and they are in Arvada territory. Cavallari, single setback is Jones, and Cavallari back to pass. Looking left side, he's got Duran. Duran's got it, slips a tackle. Duran to the 25, the 20. Duran is going to score. 43 yards on the play. Cavallari to Duran. Little slant play, and once he slipped the one tackle, all it was to get past the rest of the defense, and Duran turns it on for 43 yards and 6 points for Arvada West.
Well, and we were just waiting for that to happen. You had mentioned, like we mentioned before, that we hadn't seen many passing plays. Arvada West lulled the Redskins a little bit into some running game and then opened it up with a passing. Beautiful slant route by Duran there. And like I said, once he broke that initial tackle, there was no catching him.
This is Grant Palin on now for the extra point, and we have a whistle before the snap.
I think it's going to be a false start on the offense there, Dave. Wow, and I'm wrong again. I've been wrong twice already today, and that only happens once a year. So.
Well, you wonder whether or not Dave Logan might consider going for 2 at this point. They're going to move the ball half the distance, and he is considering it. Arvada West has called timeout. Ball spotted now at about the 1.5 8-yard line, which, of course, when you're talking points, is quite a bit different than the 3. And I see Duran into the game pied. It looks like they are going to go for 2. I like the decision.
Oh, yeah, definitely an excellent decision. If you're going to give this high-powered offense a couple yards closer, why not go for the 2-point conversion, go up by 8 instead of 7, yeah.
7.5 minutes here to go in the first quarter. The home team for this game, Arvada West, taking a 6-0 lead on a 43-yard touchdown pass from Derek Cavallari to Mike Duran. Now the 2-point conversion. Duran behind Cavallari, and they give it to him straight up the middle, and he cracks over for the 2-point conversion. So Arvada West coming out strong on its first offensive possession of the game, taking it 65 yards. The play capped, or rather the drive capped, by a 43-yard touchdown pass to Duran.
Well, Arvada's going to have to come back and respond now, Dave. If they don't move the ball down the field, especially get some field position on Arvada West, it could be a very, very long day for the Redskins. As you see, their offense, as far as Arvada West's offense goes, they can score at any given time, run or pass, and Arvada's going to have to do something offensively to keep their defense off the field.
Arvada West's offense looked awfully effective on that, and strangely enough, it was primarily on passes. The little flip pass to Chad Jones helped him out, and then the scoring toss to Duran. Here comes big number 74 again, Eric Helgeson. Boy, I tell you what, that first kickoff was a rope. Looked like Mark McGuire had hit that football with a bat. It never got more than about 15 feet off the ground.
Yeah, it looked like number 62 for McGuire. They're just getting over the fence, but it was ripped. Well, and that's the beauty thing of high school sports is number 74 can kick off. Now, it doesn't have to be a 3 or 2 or 1.
Well, they're tough to field when they land that way. This one picked up at about the 5-yard line. That's number 7 for Arvada. And cutting up the side, Nick Boucher, all the way out to about the 45-yard line. So he found a seam and took advantage of it, and Arvada will start in prime field position.
Excellent kick return, and that's exactly what I was talking about right before the kickoff there, is that Arvada had to get something going. Regardless if it's on special teams or offense, they had to get the field position. Well, there is a penalty flag down, and that looks like it's going to come back. Probably a holding call or illegal block.
Oh, it's amazing how much that sort of thing can help a kickoff return.
Oh, incredible amount, of yardage there that's going to be brought back. And now, well, instead of Arvada starting at about their 40-yard line, they're going to start at about their 10, 12-yard line.
Call it the 12, yeah. First and 10, and again, Waskowitz is going to start in the shotgun. Takes a snap and a quick handoff, and that play gets 2 or 3 yards. Chavez in there helping out on the tackle for Arvada West.
There's another flag down on the play. It was a late flag coming in. It might be another face mask, and it is.
I tell you, you got a swarming Arvada West defense, and they just keep their hands off the face masks.
Yeah, and if you're Dave Logan, you've got to hate that, and I know he does. His defense playing very well, but making some ill-afforded mistakes, giving Arvada some field position there.
Exactly. I mean, even if they do stop him on this drive, they've just lost about 15 yards in field position on one penalty there. So first and 10. Waskowitz again in the shotgun, and this time he does look to throw. Throwing down the right side, well-covered receiver, and a flag thrown in there. That's number 24 on the play. Brannon
was on the coverage there. It did look like he got a hand into the receiver's chest, and I believe that's why the flag was thrown for pass interference there.
It was a well-thrown ball, but not exactly a well-advised thrown ball, because Brannon was really step for step with the receiver. Just got a hand in there, and the official throws the flag. So, courtesy of a couple of penalties, Arvada now moving the chains. They are at their own 45-yard line. We're inside 7 minutes here in the first quarter, and Arvada West leading 8-0. This is Waskowitz, and they hand
Oh,
it
that's
up
a
the
fumble.
middle. Fourth fumble. Waskowitz is going to pick it up and run around the right side. He's finally taken out by number 14 over there for Arvada West. That's Scott Lash, senior defensive back. Boy, wild play. It looked like the handoff never really occurred.
Yeah, it didn't look like he ever had a good handle on the ball. Was knocked out immediately. But I guess that's exactly how Arvada drew it up there, Dave, and then they got the first down.
I tell you what, whatever works. 12 yards on the play. And they've got to feel a little bit fortunate, but they're in Arvada West territory now, 1st and 10 at the 43. Again, Waskowitz working out of the shotgun. And the handoff, the late handoff, that's number 45 up the middle for Arvada, Kevin Brown. And the tackle made once again by Flora, who's been busy already. That's his third tackle. We're still in the first quarter.
Well, and Arvada continues to run the ball out of the shotgun, which they must have seen something in film the last couple of weeks on Arvada West on that, but it's rare that you ever see that too many times.
Waskowitz this time looking to pass, and he throws it left side. That ball short. He was looking for number 88. That's Jason Hendricks. Actually, Joe Little out there, and the pass just falls short.
And Brennan was again on the coverage there. Had his man well covered. It was just a short throw. Came up incomplete for the Redskins.
They've put themselves into a 3rd and 4 situation now. And Waskowitz with receivers left. Now looking right side. Throws, and that ball a little bit high. Lash there on the coverage. But it goes through the hands of the receiver. Incomplete, and now a 4th and 4 and kind of an in-the-middle situation. Way too far for a field goal, but do you go for it here?
I believe you do, Dave. If you're Arvada, you're already down 7. You can't afford to give the ball back to Arvada West offense. They've got to go for it here, and that's what they're going to do.
Be interesting to see if Arvada continues to throw the ball. Waskowitz 0 for 4 so far. Throws this one. This is a flea flicker. Goes back. That's Little. Once again throws it back to Waskowitz, and Waskowitz lobs it down the field, and it's caught! Unbelievable. That ball, like a wounded duck.
It was Brian Bartlett who made the jump ball catch for the Redskins. Unbelievable play. I haven't seen that since the Dallas Cowboy days with Roger Staubach.
Boy, that was right off the playground, no question about it. 27 yards on the play. And suddenly, Arvada in business at about the 6-yard line. And we have a whistle at the snap. Illegal procedure, and 5 yards back will go Arvada. It'll be 1st and goal now from the 11-yard line of Arvada West.
Now reverse back to that play that we just saw there by Arvada, and that wasn't a play that I would particularly call on 4th and 4 against A West, but it was effective. It did work. I just thought it was a very, very risky play. For one, it's already risky going 4th and 4, but to run a flea flicker is
throwing the ball all over the field, back and forth.
Unbelievable.
But results are what counts, and it does work. 1st and goal now at the 11-yard line. Waskowitz again fakes the handoff to Brown, gets a good block, throws on the run. That ball low, though, incomplete. Again, he was looking for Little on the left side.
Brandon again was on the coverage there. So it looks like Brandon will be covering their best receiver all day long. And I believe Arvada's best receiver would be Hendrick, who's been getting the ball a lot to him.
Waskowitz now 1 for 6 throwing the ball. The wild pass play, the only one that worked. 2nd and goal now down at the 11. And again, Waskowitz looking to throw. Stumbles, now drops the ball. Tries to fall on it. He's knocked down by number 51. That's Jaden McNeely on the play. And Arvada is in reverse at this point.
There's also a penalty flag down, Dave. I'm not sure what this one's going to be about, but Waskowitz still appears to be down. He's hurt.
He is face down at about the 26-yard line. Just a disastrous play from the start. as he rolled to the right and was looking and then just lost the grip. We may see a little bit of that today because even though it is not raining or even misting, the field is damp.
Yeah, and McNeely, well, it was an all-out blitz by A. West, and McNeely led the charge there. And I think maybe where Waskowitz got hurt was when he picked up the ball, and McNeely hit him right at the knees there. And hopefully this isn't going to be too serious. We never like to see this.
Well, the ball is now spotted at about the 11-yard line, which I do not understand because Waskowitz was in the backfield. It lost some ground when he was hit. A good hit it was by McNeely. Knocked him back even farther.
And I'm not sure if the ball was brought up, Dave, back to the 11-yard line because of a penalty flag. I don't know if they've made the call yet. If they did, I missed it. But there was a penalty flag down, and it might have been against A. West. I'm not sure.
Waskowitz really hasn't moved. It looks like he may be knocked out on the play.
And he is laying motionless on the field right now. No movement whatsoever. And hopefully for him, for his family, for his team, that he's okay. But he, again, like you've said, not moving anything, laying face down on the ground.
They are, and now he appears to be coming around, turned over pretty much on his own, which is an excellent sign. And now being talked to by the trainer. So he is moving his arms and legs. And now they're sitting him up. I think he just, really, Joe, I think what happened was he got knocked out.
It possibly could be so, you know. And when someone doesn't move or lay motionless on the ground, it's either one of two things. He's very, very seriously injured, which I don't think he is, which is a good sign, or he is completely knocked out and they got to revive him.
Well, McNeely goes about 6'1", 215. So he's a big kid, made a nice play, and now Waskowitz gets to his feet. So for Arvada, it will be number 11. This is Brian Ash. He is a sophomore quarterback who will fill in and try to help Arvada complete a drive as Waskowitz is taken off. They've been throwing the ball virtually every play. We'll see if they elect to do that with young Ash in the game. Shotgun formation. Again, 3rd and goal from the 11, and Ash is going to throw. In trouble, running back, gets the pass away, and it is complete. That's Brown, and Brown scampers down inside the 10. Flora on the play. That's his 4th tackle of the game.
And all that was there was a Ash was in a shotgun motion there, looking to pass. They look. He looks left side, comes back to the right side, throws a little screen pass. Very effective.
But not enough for the first down, or for the touchdown, that is. And on 4th and goal from about the 8, Arvada will go for it. Ash taking it, lobs it for the corner, and good coverage there by number 14 for Arvada West, Scott Lash, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, Lash had him covered step for step there. Tough throw for Ash, and nothing doing there for the Redskins. But you might say, well, they didn't get into the end zone, they're in trouble. I don't think so. The Redskins moved the ball down the field, regardless of with penalties and plays, and they got the field position game back in hand. Arvada West is going to have to start from their own 8-yard line.
Well, Arvada West has scored on its only possession of the game. We have a long first quarter here, 4 minutes, 7 seconds to go now, and the handoff straight up the middle, and that's Duran. Beg your pardon. It's not Duran, that is Jimmy Krakow.
Krakow.
On the play, 6'1", 185, a senior wide receiver, or rather linebacker and running back, and Krakow moves the chains. Give him 10 on the play for the first down. Make it 11. First and 10, Arvada West. Just approaching its 20-yard line. Now they hand off to Duran, and Duran's slashing through a thin hole, but he gets about 6 yards on the play. And Arvada West's offense, from what we've seen, in just, a drive and a half, has really been impressive.
Yes, very, very, very much. They continue to run the ball very well with Duran and Krako, and they throw the ball just as well.
I formation behind Cavallari. Handoff. Almost missed his man, but he manages to get it to him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there comes a late flag.
I
think it's going to be against A West, possibly.
Krako carried the ball, and it was first down yardage. We'll see what the late flag is all about.
Hey, I'm back on track, Dave. I got one right there.
Well,
one for 3.
I'm not sure if the man was just telling the Arvada man good hit or whether that was actually a flagrant foul.
Yeah, it was a skirmish in the middle there. It was hard to see what exactly happened, but
well, it negates a first down, makes it 3rd down and 14, and the Wildcats are back now at about their own 15-yard line. And now we have another stoppage.
there's one Arvada West player that we haven't seen much of yet, even though it's just the first quarter, but I expect to see him get the ball more and more, is Pyatt. Brad Pyatt, their leading receiver. He's got 8 touchdowns, I believe, on the year receiving. 703 yards on 31 catches with an average of 22.7 per catch. That's excellent, excellent yardage.
A big play receiver. Well, the officials correct their mistake. The first down was had before the personal foul, so it's 1st and 10. Wide open, Cavallari hits number 88. That's Ryan Burhorn, and Burhorn taking it and finally dragged down at the 5-yard line. Oh, that's a big play, and I don't know what the heck Dave Logan called there, but he was wide open.
Well, it looked like a little seam pass to the tight end there. He got right up the middle, got by the linebacker, and he was wide open, and he scampers for big, big yardage for the Wildcats as they look like they're going to strike again.
80 yards on the play. For a first down, big, big play for Arvada West.
3 wides to the left here.
They're really getting creative. Look at the right side of the line, overstacked, and Cavallari throwing right side and staying on his feet and bullying his way into the end zone is Jimmy Krako. Boy, he's been busy all of a sudden. Touchdown, Arvada West. It is 14-0.
Actually, they might be calling this down at the 1-yard line.
Well, I saw an official signal.
Did he signal?
And they have spotted the ball at the 1. Apparently, he did not get in.
I believe they said his knee was down at the 1.
Boy,
Still,
Krako's
excellent
showing
effort.
Some strength.
Oh,
absolutely.
Excellent effort there by Krako. Even though he didn't get in, still great play by Krako.
Well, we'll see if they bother to run the ball here. Most teams in any league would, and they do, and that's Krako. Well, he caught the pass to get him down to the 1, and they give it to him up the middle, and a 1-yard touchdown run for Jimmy Krako. And Arvada West has jumped out to a 14-0 lead here in the first quarter. Minute 32 left.
Unbelievable. A West, like I said, moves the ball down the field with such precision and such ease. It's going to be very tough for Arvada to stay in this game.
Grant Palin on now to attempt the extra point. After the first touchdown, a penalty moved the ball closer, and Arvada West punched it over for a 2-point conversion. This kick spirals through the uprights. It's good, and it is now 15-0. Arvada West in the lead.
It was almost blocked there by McManus. Brian McManus for Arvada. He almost got that one, but it does go through, and the Wildcats are up on a 14-0.
So Arvada West has had the ball twice in this game, and twice they have scored, both on long plays, the primary plays in the drive. On the first one, 43-yard touchdown pass from Cavallari to Mike Duran, and on this last one, a very short drive, but an 80-yard play right in the middle of it. Cavallari finding Ryan Burhorn all alone. That play took Arvada West from its own 15-yard line all the way down to the Arvada 5, and from there they're able to take it in for the 15-0 lead. Seeing a lot of creativity here from Arvada West. Here's an example. Helgeson to kick off when he's got the ball way over on the right side of the field. I think Dave Logan has some fun with this kind of thing.
Yeah, I believe he does.
It's the impression I'm getting. Some of the offensive sets we've seen. So Helgeson for his third kickoff of the game. And this is end over end and deep. 5 yards deep in the end zone, and it will be a touchback. Don't they have to kneel down anymore?
You know, I was wondering what he was doing there as I continued to watch the play, and I guess he doesn't have to kneel as long as, I guess maybe it's a 2 to 3 second rule. If he doesn't attempt to come out of the end zone, then he is officially down. New rule.
So, Arvada starts 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line, unable to get any real offense going, although they did drive the ball with the help of a couple of penalties. And this is Ash. Boy, they get the exchange, Statue of Liberty looking play, the handoff, deep handoff to Brown, and Brown tackled immediately for a loss of 3.
And what I've noticed so far in Arvada's game plan on offense is a lot of trickery. And I guess you have to bring some of that in to try to beat a powerful team as a West, but I believe they need to go back to the basics, run the ball, throw the ball, and see what they can do from that standpoint.
2nd and 13, Ash again in the shotgun, takes it looking right side, throws, and that ball a little bit wide of the intended receiver, Brian Bartlett.
See, and I like that play much better. You get the snap from the center, quarterback Ash drops straight back, looks to his receiver, even though he did overthrow him, but it was no Statue of Liberty. It was no triple reverse, no fake center running with the ball.
It was a regular play.
It was a regular play. That's what Arvada's got to do more and more throughout the game here.
Certainly neither one of these teams shy about putting the ball up. And it looks as though Arvada will have to do that on this play. 3rd and 13, Ash pumping, faking, now throwing down the sidelines. He's got a man, but it's a little bit overthrown, and Bartlett wasn't able to get to it.
It was Scott Lash. It was step for step with Bartlett there. And Arvada West, is, between Lash and Brannon, have covered Arvada's receivers very, very well today. They haven't had much of any room to get open at all.
So 3 and out, as it does not appear at this point. We wouldn't guess that we will see Jesse Waskowitz back in the game, and Brian Ash is likely to handle the quarterbacking chores for Arvada for the duration of this game. Punt taken by Pyatt, and Pyatt lost his footing, wanted to go to the right, and was quickly tackled right at about midfield. So beautiful field position for Arvada West.
Excellent play by Jason Hammerly there for Arvada, number 76, as he got down on the punt coverage team, beat his man one-on-one, made the nice hit on Pyatt.
39 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and with all the passing that we've had, it has been a very long first quarter. Derek Cavallari has had a heck of a game already. He's 4 for 4, passing 138 yards and a touchdown. And the deep handoff this time, and going up the middle for about a yard is number 36, Chad Jones.
Well, it looks like Dave Logan's rotating his running backs there. So Duran he's gotten the majority of the carries, but we've seen now Jones and we've seen Crago get the ball as well, and just still be just as effective as a team as they are with Duran in there.
Give him a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 9. Clock winding down, and they may not get this off. Well, they do. This is Cavallari. Back to pass and looking deep down the middle, just off the outstretched fingertips of Brad Pyatt. Oh, that was close.
Yeah, and there's Pyatt right there. The deep threat that this Arvada West team possesses. And boy, he can get up and go. And it just got over his head there. He had his fingertips on it, but just not enough.
So after one quarter of play here at Jeffco Stadium, a quarter with a lot of big plays in it, really, 15-0, Arvada West in the lead, trying to up its record to 7-2 on the season. Good crowd here today. It is a cool day. But so far, we have not had any precipitation. Of course, later on, when the trick-or-treaters are out, expecting some snow.
Yeah. Hopefully we won't have it any time soon here.
I'm with you. 3rd and 9. Cavallari back to pass, straight drop back, has time, looking, now throwing over the middle, looking for Pyatt, a little bit high, and they just misconnect a little bit on that one, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, Dave, on that one, he was looking for Pyatt, who was open on that crossing route, but Craighead, number 84, was all alone at about the 10-yard line, waving his hands, but Cavallari just did not see him.
So on 4th down, Arvada West will punt for the first time, and this is Duran, the multifaceted football player, who gets it away about his own 45. And it's taken by the up back and running left side with Jeff Flora, as per usual, in pursuit and making the tackle. That was number 7, Nick Bashour, on the return. And Arvada gets the ball back. Boy, that Flora is all over the place.
Well, he's got 5 tackles on the day so far, and that one was number 5 there on special teams. And he is a big play man on their defense. So they've got the big play guys on offense, and they've got him on defense.
Arvada to start at its own 22-yard line. 1st and 10. And Ash back to pass. Quick toss out to the side. Hit by Florida. And then caught for a near 1st down by Little.
Big hit by Palmer. After Little made the catch, Flora tipped it initially. And the catch was made by the Redskins receiver, but then he was hammered by Palmer.
Palmer, the all-conference player, just a junior. The question would be, is that a forward pass? No whistle, and it is an incomplete forward pass.
Boy, and the officials waited very late to make a call on that. It almost looked like they were waiting for Arvada West to pick up the ball, or Arvada.
Waiting for each other to make a call is what it looked like.
Looking at each other, not sure which call to make.
Well, certainly Arvada does not have the offensive creativity that we've seen from Arvada West, at least not yet. They may be somewhat limited by the injury to Waskowitz. Brian Ash now with the deep handoff to Brown, and Brown picking his way up the middle of the field for about 4.
And again, what Arvada looks to be attempting to do here is draw the safeties outward. They're trying to make it look like they're going to do a pass with that Statue of Liberty when Ash brings the ball up and then they hand it off to their running back. But it's not been effective all day today so far.
Arvada with just 10 total rushing yards in this game. Now shotgun, 3rd and 6, and this is Ash. Dropping back, now looking left side. Screenplay set up, and he throws it over Brown's head. Might have been able to pick something up on that play, but it falls incomplete, and once again, Arvada is going to be forced to punt.
I tell you what, if Brown is able to make this catch, he goes for about 15 to 20 yards because he had two big linemen out. Only Flora was back, and I believe he would have been blocked, and they would have got a big gain, but it was just overthrown.
Duran and Pyatt now deep to receive the punt, standing at about their own 25, 28-yard line, and the punt is dropped. Rolling left and tries to get it away left-footed. I don't know if that punter's left-footed or not, but that's one of the most incredible plays I've ever seen. Punting it on the run, left-footed, and he actually rolls it down to the Arvada West 35-yard line. Angelo Tellitz, junior quarterback and all-around ace punter, somehow managed to elude Flora and get that kick away.
Oh, incredible play. Well, it was a bad play at first when he drops the ball, but then he just recovers, and I don't think he's left-footed at all. I believe he's right-footed. Excellent kick.
10.5 minutes to go, and Arvada West running the ball, believe it or not. This is Duran, who gets about a yard.
Her and Springston there to make the tackle for the Redskins. They wrapped up Duran that time. Only gave him about a yard. Well, Arvada West continues to give him a steady diet of run and pass, and they keep mixing it up. Logan's continues to call an excellent game, as we see so far.
2nd and 8 as we give him 2, and this is Duran up the right side, and Duran weaving his way for about 6 yards. It's going to set up a 3rd and 2, and this is where Arvada West is so dangerous because they are multifaceted. You can't bank on them running in a play like this.
Right, as you see there, Duran goes up on the right side, picks up about 6 yards on that play. Excellent carry. If you can get 4 yards on every carry, heck, no one's going to stop you, and that's what Arvada West is doing. They're getting 4 yards on each carry, and if they don't, they're passing it for about 80. Unstoppable.
Third and a long 2 here, about their own 44-yard line for Arvada West. This is Cavallari with a fake. Now he rolls to the right, looking and throwing to the sideline. That ball picked off. Number 15 comes up. That's Mark Schnabel, and makes the play. Senior defensive back.
There's a penalty marker, but it's the play is going to stand. It's going against Arvada West. I believe it's a holding call, Dave, and Arvada will have the ball. They're going to decline this. Excellent play there by Schnabel as he stepped right in front of the pass there, picked off Cavallari. It's going to be first down for the Redskins. That's exactly what they needed. Turnover.
A little life for Arvada. The ball now sitting exactly on the 50-yard stripe with 9 minutes and 3 seconds here to go in the first half. 15-0. Arvada West in the lead, and we'll see if Arvada continues to try to throw the football. They will. This is Ash rolling to the right, stopping and looking, and he's got his man, number 39, over the middle and getting it up for the first down, about 11 yards on the play. That is someone I don't know. Bartlett on the play.
Yeah, it's Brian Bartlett that made the catch for the Redskins there. He was pushed out of bounds by Flora. That's Flora's 6th tackle of the game so far. We're not even done with the first half.
Tackle count for Jeff Flora. 26 passing yards now for Brian Ash in relief of the injured Jesse Waskowitz. And the deep handoff to Kevin Brown. And Brown, shoestring tackle, but he got about 6 or 7 on the play. And suddenly Arvada threatening.
And Brown scampers right up the middle there, gets past, and Flora makes a shoestring tackle, or Brown goes for another 10.
Brings up about a 2nd and 4. 2 men right, 1 split wide left. Brown behind Ash, and Ash looking to throw. Completes it. There's a screenplay that didn't work a few minutes ago, and Brown, with the penalty flag down, slips down for first down yardage and out of bounds on the far side.
Well, Dave, I believe this is coming back. I believe it's going to be against Arvada. It's either a legal man downfield, one of the offensive linemen got down there too soon, or it's going to be a holding play. And it is a holding play on Arvada, and that'll nullify that play. Excellent play by Arvada as they look left, go back right with the screen to Brown, And he would have had the first down, most likely, if not a yard short, but it's all nullified because of penalties.
So it will, I believe, remain second down. Actually, 2 penalties on the play. Illegal procedure also on Arvada. That one is declined. The holding penalty is accepted, and it's going to move the football all the way back to the 43-yard line, where it will be second down and long, about 17. Make it 15. Shotgun formation as usual. And Ash rolling right, looking, he's got time, lobs the ball down the right sideline, and incomplete. He was looking for number 80, Troy Reitzel. And it'll be third down and 15.
Yeah, and Reitzel was covered by 2 men. It was Cisneros, and I believe Lash was right there as well. And they had him double-teamed. Ash looked like he couldn't find anyone downfield as he pumped 2-3 times, and then finally overthrew it out of bounds.
So third and long, and Arvada desperately trying to get some points on the board here in the first half. Inside 8 minutes to go. Deep handoff again to Brown, and this time he's grabbed by Flora behind the line of scrimmage. Give him a couple on the play. A couple lost.
Yeah, and Brown was stacked up there. Flora again to make the tackle. That's his 8th of the first half, let alone the game, and he's been a monster player on defense all day.
Well, fourth and long, and Arvada's saying, forget the punt. We'll go ahead and go for it. And a little bit of confusion in the backfield, and Arvada will take a timeout. 7 minutes, 26 seconds left here in the first half. 15-0, Arvada West, which has been very potent on offense, and which has managed, on the 2 occasions Arvada has driven into Wildcat territory, to hold off any scoring.
And the way Arvada West's defense has been playing and what they've really shown today, Arvada's moved the ball down the field a little bit here and there, but they've also moved the ball down with penalties. We had two face masking penalties called in the first quarter and moved it about 15 yards on each one. And that can hurt very much, but Arvada West bends, but they don't break, and they lead 15-0.
Arvada rethinks the strategy here and apparently is going to punt the ball. Wildcats working to get men off the field. Now they don't know how many they have on, but there's got to be at least 11 out there. And a high snap. This ball, again, punter in trouble, and he goes around the side and for the second time kicks it with a left foot on the run, and for the second time this ball rolls down inside the 10-yard line dead. This guy also has a magic act Saturday nights. Downtown, that's Angelo Tellitz.
Is this Halloween or what? Well, Tellit, again, high snap, not his fault this time, as it was, he just made a nice play to knock it down. One, gets away on the left-hand side, kicks it left-footed again, gets it down about 30, 40 yards.
There's going to be a little practice snapping over there on that Arvada sideline.
I think they hit record.
7:11 to go, and Arvada West will take over on its own 12-yard line. The pitch to Duran and the fake, and he's coming around the left side, and he's got a little bit of room to the 25, 30, and drags a tackler out past the 40-yard line. Big play, first down for Arvada West.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Brian Schnabel there, then that knocks and brings Dern out of bounds, Dern goes all the way, 90 yards. Excellent sweep there by the Arvada West Wildcats as they fake the reverse.
24 yards on the play. Ball actually spotted at the 36 where Dern stepped out. He's got 45 yards rushing in this ball game and another first down for the Wildcats. Movement along the line, and it appears that this will be an offsides on Arvada. And it is. And this is really where a guy like Dave Logan's got to enjoy things. 1st and 5 with an offense like this, he can call just about anything he wants.
I believe it was Violi for Arvada that jumped there, getting a little lancy.
Two men split left, one right, single setback behind Cavallari. And it isn't even Cavallari in there. This is Wyatt getting a turn. Throwing right side, and that ball dropped by Pyatt.
And you don't see too many of those by Pyatt. Like we mentioned in the first quarter there, Pyatt has 31 receptions on the year, 703 yards receiving. He doesn't drop many. He didn't look that one in by Wyatt there, and it's going to bring up, I believe, second down.
Second down, there was a penalty on first. Wyatt, a junior quarterback, 6 foot, 175. And he's back on second down and throws that ball. Diving attempt at an interception by Tellitz. And he just couldn't come down for it. Come down with it, that is.
Yeah, and I don't know if is Cavallari hurt or
no.
is... I don't see him on the sidelines, Dave. Well, there he is. I see him right behind Dave Logan there. So they just decided to bring in Wyatt. I'm not sure why, but we'll find out later.
Well, with a 3rd and 5 now, Wyatt under center. And the deep handoff. That's Jones, rather Bartlett. Megan Jones up the middle. Easily for a first down. Beautiful play call on the draw and executed very well, and another flag flies.
And this one's going to go against number 73, Jones. Little extracurricular activity after the play. Not a very smart play, and Dave Logan's going to talk about that at halftime. That's going to be a main emphasis on Arvada West's point, because everything else they've executed excellently except for dumb penalties. Penalties
These
against
will
both.
offset. Tell you what, these teams go way back, obviously. It's a little bit more heated rivalry, Dave Logan says, than just a normal Jeffco matchup. Next week, a big one for Arvada West as they take on Pomona.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big game. I know after this one, Arvada West is going to have to set their sights on Pomona and get ready for them.
Clock winding at about 6.5 minutes left to go in the longest first half in high school football history. This is Wyatt under center, and he is back to pass, looking over the middle, throws right down the center of the field, and that ball knocked away. Number 3, Mark Griffin on the play for Arvada.
Craighead was the intended receiver, who's well covered. And Wyatt still went for it. Not a bad pass. It was right there, a little underthrown, but it is incomplete.
Brings up a 2nd and 10. Obviously, Arvada West would like nothing better than to drive it down, soak up the remaining 6:20 in this first half, and punch it in the end zone. They lead 15-0. Wyatt back to pass, and a deep draw, and this time Jones makes it back just to the line of scrimmage.
And he was met by a gang of tacklers there by Redskins. They were all over Jones that time. Wyatt went for the play action, or I'm sorry, not the play action. What am I trying to think of here?
I don't know, the pump fake?
I don't know. We'll go on. I don't know.
The dipsy-do?
Yeah, I've lost it. With the longest first half in high school history, I've lost my mind here, Dave.
On you. 3rd down and 10, Wyatt under center, tight end right. Tried to get Arvada to jump, didn't work, and this play read very well as Jones catches it over the shoulder, lunges forward. Boy, Jones showing a little bit of pick him up and put him down on the far side. Give him 8 yards on the play. They're going to come up just short. It'll be 4th and 2.
And I believe Dave Logan's squad is going to go for it here, as Wyatt hasn't come out of the game, so yes, they are going to go for it. Nice little screen pass there to Jones. He did show some extra speed there. He showed a second gear and got up and went.
I formation behind Wyatt on 4th and 2. Splits left and right. And the handoff straight up the middle. Don't know whether or not Duran was able to get it.
I don't believe he's got it. I believe he's about a yard short. Half a yard short.
So Arvada's defense stiffens at a key 4th down and 2. And with just under 5 minutes to go here in the first half, Arvada will have perhaps its final chance to put some points on the board before intermission. Ball at the Arvada 39-yard line, 1st and 10. And this is Waskowitz back in the ball game and throwing it deep. He's looking for Little. That ball tipped away. Beautiful play. Tipped away by Lash.
Great play by Lash as he was beaten by a step there, but did just get his hand outreach and knocks the ball away. Excellent play by Lash.
To see Jesse Waskowitz is okay, back in the ball game and operating. He had the one pass play for 27 yards in the first half to Brian Bartlett. Other than that, just 1 for 7 in the ball game. 2nd and 10. Waskowitz, the little flip over the middle, and Palmer buries the receiver. About a 3-yard loss.
Another big hit by Palmer there as he ate up the running back of the Redskins there. I think it was Brown that was on the receiving end of that, but he got crunched by Palmer.
Third down 11 now. And this is Waskowitz looking, has time, throws over the middle, and that ball just off the fingertips. He was looking for Bartlett. Incomplete, and it's going to bring up a 4th down, and Arvada West will get the ball back. 4 minutes, 18 seconds to go.
Well, Waskowitz looks a little unnerved back there as his feet are moving all the time that he's throwing. He hasn't set once since we've seen him come back into the game.
He's got Flora and Palmer in his face.
That's enough to make you...
My feet be moving, too.
That'll make you enough to run.
Well, this is always interesting. Arvada back to punt, and this time the snap is a good snap. The left-footed Tellitz lets it go, and the fair catch dropped and recovered by Arvada. Pyatt decided late to try to pull that in and was not able to make the play, and Arvada suddenly in business at the Arvada West dirt line. Difficult to tell.
Very tough. Very tough to tell with this field. It was, I believe, let's see, it was Lee Payton who made the recovery for the Arvada team. As Pyatt just lost his concentration there and drops the ball.
Well, a golden opportunity here for Arvada to close the gap before halftime. Waskowitz taking the snap, now looking and throwing to the right side, and that one's complete to Bartlett over the middle, close to the 1st down.
Yeah, nice little crossing route there by Bartlett, and Waskowitz gets a little bit of confidence back as he hits him over the middle.
Did they rule this a drop?
I believe they did. Yeah. Well, they must have ruled it late because I didn't see it.
Bartlett must have dribbled that a couple of times. 2nd down and 10. Waskowitz now rolling right, protection from Brown. Rolling, looking, has time. A flag flies through.
Oh, this is going to come back because it's holding.
A nice hit by Palmer down there.
Wunderlich, who number 99 for A. West, was completely tackled on his way to the quarterback, so this is going to come back.
Well, Arvada's had it down there a couple of times and really has hurt itself. Holding and a clip called on this play, and they'll try to sort it out. Arvada West is going to have a choice here. Obviously, he's going to take the one that marches Arvada back farther. They may have to run the hankies through the laundry at halftime. They've been on the field quite a bit this afternoon.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's been a lot of penalties, and I think that's what slowed this first half up by far on both sides.
And a lot of passing.
On both sides, yeah, a lot of passing, exactly. A lot of passing, and it has to be on Arvada's side for sure because they've got to get back in this game. Now, for Arvada to make any type of run, they're going to have to get 3 points at the very minimum here, Dave, I believe, to have any shot at winning this game. If not, they need 7. They definitely need 7. If they can get 3, that's a victory.
2nd and forever now for Arvada. Back at their own 41-yard line. High snap, and Waskowitz handing off to Brown, who gets past the line of scrimmage and inside the 40, now to the 35, still on his feet, down to the 30-yard line. almost, believe it or not, back to the original line of scrimmage.
He was brought down by Chris Chavez, who made a saving play there. But Brown, excellent run as he breaks 3 and 4 tackles on his way back to the original line of scrimmage.
Brown with 24 yards now in the game on 7 carries. Clock ticks down to about 3 minutes. 3rd down and about 13. Not a critical 3rd down because you can bet Arvada West will go for it on 4th. The fake handoff this time to Brown, and Waskowitz looking and throwing for the end zone. He's got a man, and that's Bartlett for the touchdown. 30 yards. Waskowitz finding Bartlett, and Arvada gets on the board.
And like I just mentioned, this is a huge momentum lifter for Arvada as they do get in the end zone on an excellent pass by Waskowitz. Lash was on the coverage. He was there. But Bartlett just goes up and over him and makes the excellent catch for the touchdown for the Redskins.
So with the score 15-6, Arvada will line up and go for 2 here to try to cut it to a 7-point game. Handoff, fake. Looked like Brown would have been able to score, but Waskowitz able to pass for the completed 2-point conversion. Pat Springston, senior, on the catch, and suddenly we have ourselves a ball game with 2 minutes and 49 seconds left to go in the half. It's Arvada West 15 and Arvada 8.
Well, that's exactly what Arvada needed, was to get on the board there right before halftime, but there's still 2:49 remaining. That's plenty of time for this powerful A West team to come right back and score. So what Arvada needs to do is hold them here. For A West, they need to drive that ball right down Arvada's throat, as they've done all first half, and get another score, get the momentum back on their side.
Arvada has spent a timeout as Logan took some time to consider after the first touchdown whether to go for 2 or to kick the extra point. They went for 2 and converted. So they have 2 timeouts left here with 2 minutes and 49 seconds left. Ball laid flat for the kickoff. This is what you got to love about high school football. Look at this.
Number 48 kicking it off, too.
That one was off the side, though, not what he intended to do, and out of bounds. And Arvada West will take possession.
And I believe what Arvada's trying to do, I don't know if I forgot about high school or what, but I can't believe how many trick types of plays Arvada's trying to pull out here. What he wanted to do there is, I believe, keep it low to the ground, Dave. He didn't want Pyatt or Duran to receive the ball, but he ends up kicking it out of bounds. It's going to be a penalty there. I have to do it again.
They'll back him up 5 yards to the Arvada 35.
I guess it has been a long time since I've been in high school. I'm an old man here, as yourself.
You throwing stones at me here? I'll show you old. So they will try it again. Will Arvada. No time ticked off the clock. And keep it the same way. And this is going to be Pyatt with the ball inside his own 20. He's out to the 30. Cuts right. Gets outside the 40. And Pyatt with a big
return. He fumbled that.
He fumbled it. 44-yard line. Put the ball on the ground.
Yeah, but the Arvada West has it. Yep, they do. Dave Pyatt's still down, too. I believe that's Pyatt.
Got a man holding his...
Yeah, that's Pyatt. He is still down. He got rocked in the middle of that pile, coughed up the ball, but it was recovered by A West.
They're looking at the left knee of Brad Pyatt. Couldn't tell during the play. He is now up on his feet.
Well, it doesn't look good, does it?
Not putting any weight at all on that left knee, and this is not what Arvada West needs.
Yeah, their leading receiver. Yeah, leading receiver goes down, and like I said, that's not something Arvada West needs. They also almost coughed up the ball on that one. That would have been a monumental uplifter for the Redskins of Arvada.
Arvada West will start at its own 44-yard line, 1st and 10. Just over 2.5 minutes here to go in the first half. And the Wildcats leading 15-8. Pitch left. This is Duran. Duran cutting back up to the right, and he gets a few toward the middle of the field. 2nd down and about 6. Duran now 8 carries in the game, 50 yards rushing.
Yeah, and it looks like Logan knows what his team can do. They're not in too much of a hurry here. They're still back in the huddle, not going to the quick hurry up, but they're about the 47-yard line, so they got plenty of time to move and strike in the end zone.
And now the timeout called by Cavallari with exactly 2 minutes to go here in the first half. So basically the 2-minute warning. Arvada West holding on to one last timeout, if I'm counting right, and a 7-point lead.
Yeah, we see Pyatt on the bench being attended by the trainers there. I'm not sure if it's anything serious. He looks to be okay. It might be a sprained ankle. Perhaps they're looking at that part of his body.
Off.
Yeah.
So won't be able to tell whether we've seen the last of Brad Pyatt for today or not.
Arvada West hopes not. Arvada hopes so.
So 2nd and 7, and Cavallari under center, and now the fake handoff to Duran. Steps up, throws straight down the middle of the field, and wide open is Craighead, and he's in for a touchdown. Can you believe that? 53 yards on the score, just under 2 minutes to go, and Craighead gets behind the defense.
Well, that was a skinny post there that Craighead runs. Pyatt goes out, they go right to Craighead. Touchdown, results the same. Arvada West is very powerful of an offensive team. Unbelievable.
Big game for Derek Cavallari. He's now 5 for 7, 191 yards.
Oh, and that was blocked. They got up and blocked that one, Dave. They'd come close a couple times throughout the day, Arvada, that is, blocking the extra points, and it looked like the collapse was on the right side of the line there, and they got in and knocked it down.
So a momentum-altering touchdown pass as Arvada had just scored. Arvada West striking right back to take a 21-8 lead with 1:53 here to go in, once again, the longest half in high school football history here at Jeffco Stadium. This game kicked off about noon. It has been 70 minutes. We aren't to halftime.
Well, that's what you get when you have a lot of passing, which we've seen here by both sides of the ball, and a lot of penalties on both sides of the ball, which equates to equals very long game. But that's okay. We're happy to be here, and we'll continue to be happy throughout the second half.
It's really a great day to watch football from a booth that is enclosed and quite a bit warmer than it is. Temperatures today in the 40s for highs. End-over-end kick taken at about the 3-yard line. That's Tellis, the multifaceted Arvada player. He's out just across the 20-yard line, and Arvada will have only 1 minute and 45 seconds to try to counter that long touchdown pass from Derek Cavallari to Jeremy Craighead. Cavallari now 191 yards through the air on a total of 5 completions. 2 of those have gone for touchdowns. Not a bad afternoon already.
No, not at all. Big plays on the passing part of the A West side.
Waskowitz with that deep handoff to Kevin Brown, and Brown picking his way up the center of the field. He's got some good yardage, about 9 on the play, 2nd and 1 for Arvada.
Okay, Palmer was on the tackle again with a couple of his buddies there. as they stop him short, just short of the first down. But Arvada's going to need a lot more of that with just about under a minute 20 remaining.
Arvada not going out of the no huddle, which you might expect in this situation. And they are going to elect to keep the ball on the ground. This is Brown, who gets a couple of yards and probably enough for the first down. It's going to be close. Clock is stopped at a minute exactly, so they move the chains, and now they'll move the clock as well. 1st and 10. We'll see if Arvada elects to throw it up and take a shot. This is Brown rolling right, rather Waskowitz, throwing it deep down the sideline, and well covered on the play is number 80, Troy Reitzel.
Yeah, and Lash was there as well to make the knockdown of the pass there. It was a design rollout by Waskowicz. Not a very good pass, though. It was wobbly. It was in the air for quite some time. And A. West knows that they have to get the ball down the field in big chunks. They're not going to give that up right now, Dave.
Well, Arvada can throw deep one more time and still have 2 downs with which to run out the clock. 41 seconds to go. And they will just hand it off now. That is Brown cutting up the middle, and Brown, another 10-yard pickup to about the 43, first down.
Josh Ranson saves a touchdown there. If Ranson doesn't make the tackle, who's the last man back? He's the free safety that stands about 15, 20 yards back in this situation. Doesn't make the tackle, Brown goes all the way.
It would be much fun to have Kevin Brown running full steam at you.
No.
In the secondary. 1st and 10 as the clock down inside 20 seconds now. Waskowitz scrambling around, throws right side. He's got it complete, and out of bounds, or at least stopping the clock for a first down, is Bartlett on the catch.
Well, now Arvada is moving it down in chunks. They got about 12 seconds. They're going to have maybe enough time. They do have a timeout here still to go down to the middle of the field. Look for them to go to the middle of the field, call their timeout, try for a field goal.
5 seconds left, and this will be the final play of the half. The swing pass to Brown, and Brown tackled down at about the 40, and that'll do it for the first half here at Jeffco Stadium. 21-8 our score. Arvada West leading Arvada. This is David Kale along with Joe Mastrioni for Wildcat Television Network with Abstract Video. Back to Jeffco Stadium. Teams getting ready here for the second half. Arvada West, 21-8 leaders here over Arvada. It has been a game in which Arvada West's offense has been quite effective. I want to take a look at some of the first half stats, Joe. Mike Duran with 50 rushing yards in the game, 80 yards rushing for Arvada West, and 198 through the air. Most of those from Derek Cavallari. David Wyatt did complete a pass for 8 yards, but Cavallari on the half, 5 for 7, 191 yards, and 2 touchdowns. On the receiving end, Jeremy Craighead with a 53-yard touchdown reception. Chad Jones has caught 2 balls for 19 yards. Duran has caught a 43-yard touchdown. Ryan Burhorn, that big 80-yard play that set up the second touchdown for Arvada West. That's scored by Jimmy Krako, and Krako, by the way, with 1 catch as well for 4 yards in the game. Other side, Arvada, 46 yards on the ground, most of those, 45 of them, from Kevin Brown, 104 yards through the air from Jesse Waskowitz and Brian Ash. Waskowitz injured in the first half and then came back later. Bartlett, their leading receiver, with 86 yards in receptions. Arvada West will get the ball to start the second half here, and we are set to go. Squib kick goes down to the right side and out of bounds. And for the second time in this game, Arvada may have to re-kick because of a kickoff that went out of bounds.
Yeah, they are going to, well, either
or
they'll
Arvada
spot
West
this.
might just take the
they
football.
might spot it, yeah, right I believe it's to the 35. Then Dave, if they do, yeah, they're gonna take it at the 35. On defense for the A West Wildcats, leading tacklers was Flora, and he had 8, as according to my records. Palmer then was second with 4.
Trying to find out whether or not Brad Pyatt is going to be back in the ball game for the second half. They retaped that injured ankle, and he did go through warm-ups. This is Jurin on the carry from the 35, and he gets about 3 yards to the 38-yard line.
And Pyatt is on the sidelines. He wasn't back there on the kick return, so I'm not sure if they're holding him out for a little bit, see how it goes, see maybe possibly how the game goes. They might not feel like they need him in the standpoint that they do have a lead 21-8, and they might want to rest him for that big game in Pomona next week.
2nd and 7 now. I formation behind Cavallari. Cavallari taking the handoff. Spins, fakes, and the blitz snows him under. It's going to be a loss of about 6 yards on the play. That is the first time Cavallari's been caught behind the line of scrimmage today, and it's a big play for Arvada.
Yeah,
it'll bring up a 3rd and 13.
Excuse me, Dave. Leading that charge there was Matt Vickers for Arvada as they came through, and they were able to get to Cavallari that time. They haven't been able to get to him much all day, but they did manage to wrap him up and bring him down.
So a 3rd down and called a long 12 for Arvada West. Neither team shy about putting the ball up today. Here's Cavallari stepping one tackler, and he puts the ball down the middle of the field. How did Craighead come up with that football?
Oh, excellent catch by Craighead as he went down for the ball and gets his arms underneath between the ground and the ball, makes an excellent reception, 1st down for Arvada West. They continue to move the ball down the field by throwing up and getting the ball down the field 20, 30 yards at a time. Excellent pass by Cavallari.
24 yards on the play. It puts Craighead's receiving yards at 77 for the game, and it puts Cavallari over the 200 mark at 215. Now the run up the middle. Jurin breaking tackles and scampering down to the 30-yard line. Another 13 yards on the play. And Arvada West baring its teeth here at the beginning of the second half.
It was a nice little trap play there as Jurin scampers right up the right side for about 12, 13 yards. Nice carry on the play.
Certainly, one thing Arvada could not afford is to have the Wildcats march down the field on the opening possession of the 3rd quarter and score. But that looks to be what they're doing. Up the middle again. That is number 4, Krako, for good yardage inside the 25. Got 7 yards on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 3.
Yeah, Jimmy Krako's been moving the ball as effectively as Jurin has. So they've got a two-headed monster in Arvada West's backfield today. They've been unbelievable on offense. They're unstoppable right now.
Arvada West running out of multiple formations this afternoon and running virtually anything it wants to out of those formations. Now we see the split backs in the backfield and the pitch. This is Jurin, left side, slips one tackle, and he's run out of bounds. Late flag coming in. Got down close to the 1st down, not quite enough. About 2 yards on the play, and we'll wait and see what the penalty is. It's a hold on Arvada West. So that'll put a crimp into this potential scoring drive. It'll be from the spot of the foul, and they're going to bring it back to the original line of scrimmage at the 30, where it once again will be 2nd and 10.
Well, now that we have a break, Dave, 2 errors that we made in the first half, and those are both on my part. In the end zone, I guess anything that's kicked in the end zone is automatically going to be brought back to the 20. They are not allowed to bring it out anymore, which is a rule change from the dark ages when we played.
2nd and 10, Cavallari back to pass, and a little screen out to Jones for flare pass, and Jones gets down inside the 25-yard line, a pickup of 6, and it'll be 3rd and 4 at the 24.
The other faux pas that I had in the first half was calling Arvada's team the Redskins. I apologize to anyone that might be offended. Did not do that on purpose. Didn't realize that they had changed their names to the Reds, and hopefully the apology will be accepted by all you listeners out there.
We'll just call you Jack Kent Cook from now on instead of Joe. 3rd down and 4 for the Wildcats at the 24 of Arvada. I formation behind Cavallari, and the quick hit up the middle and down close to the first down. Don't think he quite got there, though, was Duran.
Yeah, I think he's about an inch short, a couple inches short, about 5 inches short maybe.
Well, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah. Especially
for
with
Dave
Duran,
Logan,
yeah.
and here comes Pyatt back onto the field.
That's good to see. That's good for Arvada West.
They've retaped that left ankle, and Pyatt does not look like he has quite the mobility as is the norm, but he is out there, split wide left. 4th and a short 1, and the handoff to Duran in the backfield, and Duran cut down, and the ball will turn over. That was Nick Boucher, the junior defensive back, coming up to make the play. A loss of 5, and Arvada will take over.
Oh, great play there by number 7, Nick Boucher. Yeah, the defensive back for Arvada, the Reds, comes up and makes a nice play as he knocks Duran back for about 3-yard loss. Excellent play by the Reds.
Well, it's a play Arvada had to have, down 21-8 here with less than 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Waskowitz on the first play, going deep and well covered downfield, although we do have a late flag. Bartlett was well covered, but a flag comes in, and let's see what the call is.
I think this call might go against Arvada. It looked almost like the receiver had his hands all over Arvada West, but they don't call it that way. They call it on, it looks like going to be on Lash, was the man that was in coverage. But it looked like a little bit of hand fighting on both sides. I think that should have almost gone as a non-call.
I don't know. The receiver ran into the back of the defensive back, and the defensive back has a right to that space running away from the receiver, correct?
Right, that's where I thought the receiver had his hands in a pushing motion almost on the defensive back, and I thought it was going to go against Arvada, but the striped shirts see it a different way, and that's what they're out there to do the job, and they make the call.
Yeah, you never win an argument with them, do you?
That's right.
Well, that'll move the chains quite a bit. The 44-yard line of Arvada West is where they'll spot it. And an unsportsmanlike conduct as well called on Arvada West. That's why the ball was moved that far down the field.
Oh, and that's got to burn up Dave Logan on the sidelines. Uncostly penalties.
Here's Waskowitz in the shotgun now. Rolling left side. He's got Brown out to the left as a safety valve. Tosses it out. There's Brown with a catch and gets a couple of yards before he is run out of bounds by number 20, Tony Vase. Rather, that's Cisneros. Dirk Cisneros on the play. And more laundry on the field. This is holding on Arvada, and this one's going to come back.
Dan, I don't know what the coaches on both sides. Well, I have an idea of what the coaches said on both sides.
I'm glad I wasn't in those halftime
locker rooms. Yeah, with all the penalties that have been going on, this has been a sloppy game. It's been a good game as far as execution, those types of plays on the big plays as far as Arvada West goes. But as far as penalties go and dumb penalties, like unsportsmanlike conducts, face masking penalties, are completely uncalled for. They've got to reduce those.
We've really seen Arvada go backwards once it gets into Arvada West territories because of penalties. The fake deep handoff to Brown, and now Waskowitz scrambling, and he is going to be dragged down. Knight was in there on the play. Joe Knight, the junior defensive lineman, 5'10", 200. He was the first of 3 Wildcats to get to Waskowitz, and Arvada is not only in reverse, they are in high reverse.
Yeah, and Wonder Rich, number 99, was back there. He's been in the backfield all day. He might as well take some handoffs if he continues to get in the backfield of Arvada. Excellent defensive play by the Wildcats.
Second down and a full tank of gas to go for Arvada. This is Waskowitz with a deep handoff to Brown. Brown, who's been effective, runs up the left side and gets about 8 yards. He's run out of bounds on the far side, and it's still going to be 3rd and a mile for Arvada.
Well, Arvada needs what they need to do right here in this situation, Dave, I believe, is go to the middle of the field. The middle of the field, passing the ball, has been sometimes open throughout the day. When they seem to go to the corners, they haven't had much luck, so I believe they have to go down the field, look for the tight end to get the ball maybe in this situation here.
3rd and 21, and Waskowitz throwing it just over the line. That's Bartlett, who tries to slip up the middle, slips a couple of tackles, and then he is finally corralled by number 90 for Arvada West. That's Rob Miralez. And after 2 gains on 2nd and 3rd down, it's still 4th and 17.
Well, Pyatt's still not going to be back for Arvada West there in punt return situations or kickoff return situations. I think they're going to hold him out on cautionary terms of that left ankle might be a little sore and just get him out on offensive plays. Back there to take his spot, I believe, is number 36.
Chad Jones back there along with Duran. And another whistle and another penalty flag. It will be delay of game against Arvada. And this has just got to drive Bob Bozade crazy. I think what they need is maybe kind of a running clock like in soccer.
Yeah, that'd probably help him out. This is a horrible kick here.
Punt goes off the side of the foot there of Angelo Tellitz. He does better when he's running and punting. That ball out of bounds. It'll be good field position for Arvada West. They will begin at about their own 45-yard line.
And exactly what the Reds didn't need in this situation. Give Arvada West the ball back at their own 45-yard line. That's almost giving them the ball at the goal line, basically, with this high-powered offense. Let's see what they do here.
First and 10, and passing situation all the way, and the pass complete over the middle. That's Craighead, not over the middle, to the side. He comes back to the middle, to the 48. It'll give him about 3 yards on it.
A little jailbreak play on that possession there by the Wildcats as Craighead catches the ball behind the line of scrimmage, then kind of picks his way in and out of tacklers, tries to follow his lead blockers. Not a bad play. It sometimes can go for big yardage. Sometimes it doesn't.
Cavallari, by our unofficial count, 8 for 10 in the ball game, 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. Trips to the left now on 2nd down, and again, Laundry on the field, and I believe this is going to go against the Wildcats. And I'm wrong. It's on Arvada, so another 5 yards, and it brings up a very appealing situation for Arvada West, as this is going to bring about a 2nd and about 2.
And see, I don't understand these types of penalties here. I can understand in the heat of the game a pass interference, those types of plays, but lining up in the neutral zone is it's unbelievable that they've done it 3 or 4 times today, Dave.
2nd and 2, and Cavallari with the draw play to Jones, and he's got room straight up the middle, and Jones down inside the 30, breaks a tackle, and he's still loose. Inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line, Chad Jones. Well, the play worked from the start, and then Jones made it work better.
Oh, beautiful execution by Arvada West there, Dave. Jones takes a ball on a draw play from Cavallari and goes straight up the middle, breaks a couple tackles. He almost went to the end zone there by a shoestring tackle by the Reds.
Somebody had to get him.
That's right.
28 yards on the play. Jones now 41 in the ball game. And Arvada West in business at the 17 of Arvada. Cavallari in trouble, and smart play. Jones well covered on the flare out, and Cavallari elected just to throw it over his head.
Unbelievably smart play as far as you figure for a high school ranked kid to realize that situation. Pressured in the backfield, throws it away where no one can get it. Only his receiver could have got it, and that's if he was Deion Sanders to run at 4.2 speed over there. Excellent play by Cavallari.
So, 2nd down and 10. Jones, the lone setback, and 2 men split left and right for Arvada West. Tackles up. One would think either pass or draw. Cavallari back to pass. Another flag down. This play won't count. Craighead, the intended receiver, did catch the ball, but let's see what the flag's about. We're not keeping track of penalties in this game. It is illegal procedure against Arvada West. There have simply been as many as you will ever see.
Yeah,
in one game.
if we were, our hand might have fallen off from writing down, the little chalk marks that go with all the penalties that have been in this game.
So they back him up 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 15 for Cavallari and the Wildcats. Blitz is on, and Cavallari buried just as he releases the ball. That was number 40, Gabe Gonzalez, junior defensive end for Arvada. And I'm not sure if I'm seeing things right, but I believe there is another flag on the play.
And it was late. It might have been a late hit, unsportsmanlike conduct against the Reds. And he either got, Cavallari either got late hit there after the play was over, or there was a little, extracurricular trash talking down there maybe that might have drawn
We've
the
seen it a few
unsportsmanlike.
times, and it's no secret that the kids from these schools look at this as a big game on their schedule every year. It's bragging rights for a year. A lot of these kids know each other, obviously.
Regardless of record, too. Regardless
Absolutely.
of record, it's still a big rivalry. You can almost chalk it up like the Denver Raider game. Regardless of record, it's always going to be a dogfight out there, and that's what we've seen today.
One way or another, we have a 3rd and 5, and I have no idea how they've come to that conclusion. Arvada West calls timeout. The ball is at the 11-yard line of the Reds. There was an unsportsmanlike after the play. It was 2nd and 15, and now it's 3rd and 5. I must be missing something here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Did they get 15 on that particular call? It must be.
They're all starting to run together a little bit for me, Joe. 4 minutes, 34 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 21-8. That was our halftime score. Arvada, once again, moving the ball well on offense. They have driven it down to the Arvada 11-yard line and look to punch it in for their 4th touchdown of the game. In the first half, Cavallari went 43 yards to Matt Jurin in the first quarter. That put Arvada West up 6-0. They converted a 2-point conversion to make it 8-0. Craco took it over from 1 yard, also in the first quarter, to make it 15-0. That drive aided by a pass to Ryan Burhorn for 80 yards, and they add one more touchdown to the tally for a 21-8 lead. Now, here's Cavallari back to pass. Now chased, gets it away, and it falls just short. Cavallari was in danger of losing a lot of yards there and was able to get the ball away, and fortunately it fell incomplete.
Yeah, that was tipped right at the line of scrimmage. They had the heat on him there. Can't say enough about this kid Cavallari, though. He is stuck in there, doesn't seem to have happy feet, and he's completed a lot of passes today. Very tough.
This is Grant Palin now on to attempt the field goal. It's going to be a 28-yard field goal attempt. Low snap, and it's bobbled, and rolling out and throwing is Paulino. Throws deep, and it's picked off in the end zone. And it is brought out, and he is going to score. No whistle. You can bring that out.
Now we've got whistles.
And now there are whistles.
Yeah.
A little bit of unsuredness in the end zone from our officiating crew. It would have been a 105-yard interception return. As it is, it goes for a touchback on the botched field goal attempt, and Arvada will have the ball 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line. A lot of boos coming up from the Arvada side. It would have been a huge play. Bob Bozade out on the field talking with our head referee today.
Yeah, and he's animated on. He can't believe that isn't a touchdown for his team.
Well, the thing to do from an official standpoint is not to blow the whistle unless you're sure.
Right.
Because you can always call it back afterward.
Sure.
If clarification is needed. The whistle did blow, however. Play is dead.
And I'm not sure exactly what the call is. I don't, unless if that's a high school rule that I'm unaware of, that once they catch it in the end zone on an interception, it's brought out to the 22. Maybe that's the rule. I'm not sure. I
Could
guess
be. You would have thought that you could bring it out if you wanted to.
Yeah. And that's exactly what he did. And it almost seemed like Arvada West stopped playing before the whistle was even blown. But
well, the milk has been spilled. No time to cry for Arvada. 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. 4:14 left here in the third quarter. Jesse Waskowitz at quarterback. He was injured, sat out a bit of the first half, then came back, and the handoff to Kevin Brown. Another flag flies, and Brown picking his way. Good run. About 11 yards for the first down. Let's see what the laundry's about. It is holding on Arvada. They have been especially, I think, plagued by penalties today.
Yeah, that nullifies a big run by Kevin Brown there. He scootered up the defense there, made nice breaking tackles, but all for nothing. It comes back, and A West is going to pin them now inside their own 10-yard line.
It will be 2nd and about 22 for Arvada, and this is not an unfamiliar situation. They've been in it all day. Shotgun formation, which is what Arvada runs out of. Waskowitz standing, looking over the middle, and that ball is picked off by Lash. Waskowitz just missed his man Bartlett. Lash there to make the play, and Arvada West in business at the Arvada 17-yard line.
Oh, and this play here, excellent play by Lash, as he reads the route perfectly and runs it for the Reds. Waskowitz hits him perfect on a slant pattern, and he turns the ball over for the Reds. Arvada West will start at about their own 13-yard line. Oh, I'm sorry, about their own 16-yard line. It's hard to tell with this middle of the field.
So after the botched field goal, Arvada West's defense on the field for only 2 plays, and they give it right back to Cavallari in the offense. The fake reverse, Duran keeping it down the right side, inside the 10 to the 5. First down, Arvada West, and they're looking to put this game possibly away.
Flag down again on the field, on the far side of the field from us, Dave. I believe it's going to go against Arvada West on a holding penalty. Yeah, it's coming back.
Boy, beautifully executed play.
Yeah.
The fake reverse to Pyatt, coming around from the right side. Duran following his blockers and cut it up, but
what has happened here? It looked like they called a clip on Arvada West and an unsportsmanlike, a personal foul on Arvada. So these plays are going to nullify each other. It looked to be. Not sure yet.
Of course, it'll matter when those occurrences happened, whether it was after the play. So they mark off the hold, and then they bring back the unsportsmanlike conduct. Boy, this is close to a gang fight out here.
Yeah.
Well, the ball is placed at about the 14-yard line now. And it is 2nd, now 1st. Well, I tell you what, I think you need some kind of special calculator to figure out exactly the situations here today. 1st and 6 is what they've got up right now. We'll wait and see what it is on the next play. Ball again at the 14. Cavallari bobbles the snap, tries to hand it off, fumbled in the backfield. Cavallari able to dive back on it. Arvada West will keep the football.
Oh, and Arvada West dodges a huge bullet there as Cavallari makes up the exchange with, I believe it was it Dern in the backfield that time?
Couldn't get the name of the train coming through the middle of the line there, but Cavallari never really did have the snap.
I believe it was Dern. They never got together there, and Cavallari makes a huge saving play for the Wildcats.
So we come up with a 2nd and 10, one way or the other. Cavallari takes the snap. There was some movement beforehand. This play will not count. And Cavallari frustrated with his offensive line at this point. Illegal procedure, just a little bit out of sync on a cold Halloween here at Jeffco Stadium.
Yeah, and again, the penalties continue to fly here. Even though Arvada West is in the lead, I don't think Dave Logan has liked what he's seen as far as the penalty situation has gone today.
2nd and 15 now. Cavallari back to pass. Snowed under. Arvada was coming on the blitz. Number 34 makes the hit. That's Matt Vickers, the senior defensive end. And Arvada West now basically mimicking Arvada in going backward once it drives into enemy territory.
Big hit by Vickers. They were coming after him. They knew Arvada West needed to throw the ball in that situation, and they brought everyone up to the line, and they got him.
3rd and 23 for Arvada. All the way back to the Arvada, for Arvada West, that is, all the way back to the Arvada 30. Cavallari dancing in the pocket, gets away, makes the pass completion to Craighead. Great catch down there.
Oh, excellent catch. And there is a player down for Arvada on the sidelines there. I believe it's number 7. That's Nick Boucher, injured on the play, but excellent catch by Craighead. He goes up for the ball, wins the jump ball like Randy Moss, and we've seen in the NFL. I'm not going to yet start comparing him, even though he has the same number, 84, to Randy Moss, but he's on his way.
Well, he really went up over the DB and took that ball for himself. Cavallari made a nice play, too. There was pressure. He eluded one man, stepped up, kept his composure, and made the pass. Down to the 5-yard line, 25 yards on the play, and that puts Derek Cavallari at 249 yards through the air in this ballgame. It also affords Arvada West a 1st and goal situation. That is the defensive back down on the play. They are looking, looks like his left ankle or leg.
And the only thing that I can think what happened there is when they went up for the jump ball, he came down and either twisted an ankle.
Might have come down on
hopefully
the
not a
receiver's
knee.
foot.
Yeah, could have come on a receiver's foot. Hopefully he didn't get it planted down in there and do anything to the knee. Never like to see that.
Now, getting up to his feet, it is Nick Boucher. And jogging slowly off the field under his own power, a good sign. He will likely be back in this game this afternoon. 2 minutes, 9 seconds to go now in the 3rd quarter. And Arvada West can really take this game for its own with a touchdown here. They lead by 13 points, 21-8. And have a 1st and goal at the 5. Cavallari handing it off to Jones. Jones with a hole through the right side, but it closes quickly. Gets a couple on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal from about the 3.
Jones was hit by about 3 guys, still continued to carry him for about a yard. Excellent carry by Jones, even though he didn't get into the end zone. After the initial hit, he still keeps going.
Chad Jones, a fire plug type of runner, 5'8", but 170 pounds, junior running back for the Wildcats.
And that's what you got to do as far as...
Arvada West now taking a timeout. Took a little bit too long getting that play in, and so the Wildcats call timeout here with $1:35 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
And that's what you got to do as far as a running back goes. And if you're ever going to be successful and keep your legs moving and turning once you're hit, anyone that stops their legs obviously is going to go down. But the guy that I always remember of is Barry Sanders, Terrell Davis, and the main guy was Roger Craig. God, he always kept his legs going and always picked up an extra couple yards. That's exactly what Jones did there.
It's often said a running back is measured after he's hit. With Barry Sanders, may be a little bit different. You gotta
Yeah.
get a piece of it.
You got to touch him first,
You gotta
I guess.
touch him.
Yeah.
That's right. So Arvada West breaks the huddle now. They do spend a timeout. It is second and goal from the Arvada 3-yard line. Jones, the lone setback behind Cavallari. They run mostly tight end right. And Cavallari in trouble.
Oh, boy.
Did he throw it? Or
I
is
believe
it a
that's
fumble?
going to be a fumble. Yep.
Arvada holds and has the ball. Cavallari hit from his blind side, tried to get away, and wasn't able to hold on to the ball. It could be argued that his arm was moving forward and that was an incomplete pass, but that's not how it's going to stand. Arvada takes over possession.
And it was Matt Vickers who recovered the fumble for the Reds. Huge play for the Reds as they're going to start at their own 10-yard line.
First down for Arvada, and this is the big fullback in spelling Kevin Brown, and he will get a couple of yards. That's Don here, who also plays linebacker, a junior. And it'll be second and about 6.
Well, the Purple People Eaters out there for the A West Wildcats ate that up, and they gobbled them up and spit them back out. It's only about a yard on that pickup. They're going to have to throw the ball down the field here, Dave, to get anything going.
Now here's the handoff. Brown back in the game, slips one tackle, and then he's pulled down by Flora. Give him about a yard on the play, 3rd and 5.
Now Flora continues to rack up the tackles. That's number 10. He's now in double digits.
He really has stood out. I mean, we have called his name, it seems, about every third play or so for Arvada West.
Yep.
We do have a man down for Arvada, and that is the running back, Kevin Brown. He's had a busy day. He's carried the ball 12 times on the afternoon, 54 yards for the Reds, and climbs to his feet.
That'd be a huge loss if he can't return, and it looks like he's going to be okay because he's walking off on his own power. But a huge loss for the Reds if he can't show back up.
34 seconds to go here in the third. Call it 3rd down and about 4 for Arvada. In its own territory at about the 16. Snap back to Waskowitz, and he rolls right, throwing on the run and complete for the first down. Got his man down there. He hit number 80. That's Reitzel, the sophomore, and they will move the chains. First down for Arvada.
Nice play action there by Waskowitz, as it looked like the play was going to go for a running play on the left side. He comes back to the right, hits his man, picks up the first down.
So Arvada with a new set of downs can't quite get this play off before the third quarter expires. And with 12 minutes to go, Arvada West players raising their hands, 4 fingers up, fourth quarter coming up, 21-8. The Wildcats lead this one over Arvada.
And sometimes I think what has happened in this particular game, even though they are big rivals, sometimes, speaking of Arvada West, them being the more dominating team up to this season so far, has kind of lulled their way through the game. They have made some big plays, but it hasn't been as consistent as we've seen throughout the whole year from this team.
This is the time of season, of course, where you want to crank things up a little bit, get things running smoothly, be executing, and be performing at your highest level as the postseason nears. 1st and 10 for Arvada, and the handoff, and that's the big guy here who lumbers up for about 8 yards on the play. Call it 9. It'll be 2nd and 1.
It was Don, her rumbling, stumbling up about
Rumbling,
bumbling, stumbling. Yeah, up the middle of the field, the dirt field. It looks like we're playing in San Diego. Qualcomm Stadium looks this bad too.
It's like a rodeo out there. Handoff up the middle, just trying to get the first down here. I think he got him enough. Give him 2 on the play. It'll be a first down for Arvada. Suddenly here coming in to give Brown a little bit of a break. He's carried 3 times now for 15 yards. The clock now the enemy of Arvada and the ally of Arvada West, as we have just begun the fourth quarter here at Jeffco Stadium. Arvada West leading 21-8 over Arvada. First and 10, and the fake handoff to here. Rolling left, Waskowitz, and making the throw, and complete to Reitzel, I believe. Check it. Nope, not Reitzel. It is Joe Little with the catch. Picked up about 7 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 3.
Yeah, Cisneros was on the coverage there just a little bit late, and Waskowicz gets the ball in just in time. Cisneros was about a step away from knocking that ball down.
Waskowitz not enjoying the success of his counterpart Cavallari here today, but he has completed 8 passes now of 17 for 103 yards. Fake handoff to Brown, and Waskowitz rolling right and throwing toward the sideline, just a little bit too far out. An Arvada player taking out one of his teammates on the sideline there, incomplete, and it'll be 3rd down.
Oh, Waskowitz was looking for Bartlett again, I believe. Yeah, it was Bartlett on the right sideline there. It was a little comeback route, and he just threw it a little wide of Bartlett. Bartlett wasn't able to reel it in.
Interesting that they would throw the ball on a 2nd and 2 or 3. They need to move the chains. They need to certainly keep this drive going to have any chance of catching Arvada West. And when a pass play doesn't work, you have to second guess a little bit. Here's the running play to Kevin Brown, and nothing doing. Palmer grabbing him and spinning him down. Good penetration there as well by Wunderlich. And a loss of 2 on the play.
Yeah, that was all Palmer that time there, Dave. He read the play, snuffed it out, and wraps up Brown, pulls him down, which is a hard task in one, but Palmer sucks it up and rips him down, throws him down for probably a yard loss.
Well, Arvada has decided it is already 4-down territory. 4th and 4 here at its own 46. The handoff straight up the middle to the big guy here, and nothing doing. Arvada West's defensive line stuffs the play for virtually no gain. They needed 4 yards, and the Wildcats are going to take over inside Arvada territory.
Oh, and you got number 90 and number 99 and all the purple people eaters is what I'm calling them today. Reminiscing of the old Minnesota defensive line. They have just controlled that offense and defensive line all day long.
Looks like an old Minnesota day at the old Met in Bloomington, although I can pretty much assure you it's not that cold. 1st and 10 for Arvada West. Pyatt in motion, and the handoff, and Duran met 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and put down. It'll be 2nd and 13.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, this is a perfect day for football. You can't get any better. It's not snowing, which snow I don't think is a perfect day for football. It's just cold enough that when you hit someone, it stings, and you gotta like this type of game. It's been a knock 'em sock 'em type of game. Still 21-8, not as close as a regular spectator would like, but A West loves it.
9 minutes, and now inside 9 minutes, the deep pitch. That's Jones running up the right side and knocked out of bounds after about 5 yards. So it'll be 3rd down, and call it 7 for Arvada West.
And what
Jones now 49 yards on the ground.
What Arvada West is going to try to do is ground it out on the ground, or grind it out on the ground, if I can talk. Run it on the ground, because they're going to try to take up some time as much as they can. So when they give the ball back to Arvada, they're not going to have much time to score.
Here's Cavallari on 3rd and about 7. Passing formation. Jones picks up the blitz, and he does make the completion over the middle, hitting number 1. That's Micah Paudino. And Paudino gets the first down, a pickup of about 9. 1st down, Arvada West.
And Paudino, that's his first reception of the day. That's the first time they've looked to him. He was wide open. Nice little slant route to the middle, and picks up the first down.
Ball placed inside the 35 at the Arvada 34. 1st and 10 for Arvada West. I'll get it. Passing formation again, and instead they hand off Jones on the draw. Jones driving forward, makes 2 or 3 yards out of nothing.
I tell you what, this little Jones guy, I guess call him little. He's a spark plug, but he is a bulldog in there. When he gets hit, he's carrying 3 and 4 tacklers with him. Gotta like that.
Pretty balanced on the ground here for Arvada West today, as Duran has 61 yards, Jones 50, and 24 yards for Jimmy Krakow. Second down. Jones actually struggled to get back to the line of scrimmage. Call it 2nd and 10. Cavallari looking to pass. Whistles. Play will not count. He was looking for Pyatt down the right sideline. And we've got illegal procedure once again on Arvada West. I think Dave Logan is going to have a little bit to think about on the flight out to Cincinnati to watch the Broncos. It's just been a rough day for both teams in terms of penalties.
Absolutely.
2nd and 15. Ball back now at the 38-yard line of the Wildcats. Here's Cavallari back to pass, throwing right side. Pyatt makes the catch, stutters outside, now breaks a tackle and breaks away. And Pyatt is going to scamper 38 yards for a touchdown. Oh, great piece of running after the catch.
Oh, incredible play by Pyatt. Even with the injured left ankle, he is still able to break a couple tackles, go straight up the middle on a little slant, Jerry Rice, a la Jerry Rice, and he goes for the touchdown. Beautiful play by Pyatt.
Pyatt's first catch of the day, if you can believe that, at least in our book here. Cavallari now at 296 yards. That is his 3rd touchdown pass of the day. And it gives Arvada West a rather comfortable lead now at 27-8. They will go for 2 and try to go up by 21 points. Cavallari back to pass, now firing, and he hits Pyatt over the middle, not able to hang on. Pretty good defense. Man was there, couldn't tell if he got a hand in or not, but the conversion fails. And with 7:19 to go in this game, it remains Arvada West 27, Arvada 8.
Yeah, and Cavallari looked for Pyatt again there. He wasn't able to hang on, but a nice little slant route again. And Arvada has not been able to have any answers for Arvada West's slant routes all day.
So an effective offense for Arvada West that so far has rolled up a total of about well over 300 yards, approaching 400 yards on the day. They are over 400 as I look at my stat sheet.
Incredible.
So what would otherwise be a rather cold, gloomy Halloween day is going to turn out to be a rather nice afternoon for the Arvada West Wildcats. Their record, presuming they can hold this lead, Joe, will move to 7-2 overall and 3-2 in the Jeffco Conference. That before next week's big matchup with Pomona.
Yeah, that's going to be one that they're definitely going to start looking at now, as they are going to most likely wrap up this game unless if some unforeseen sight happens.
Unfathomable.
Yeah.
Kickoff now, and that ball sailing end over end again into the end zone. Boy, I tell you what, big kid Helgeson can really boot it when he wants to. 7 minutes, 19 seconds left here in the ball game. And Arvada try to get that offense untracked. They've had a couple of drives in this game, but every time they penetrate Arvada West territory, they're either stopped by the Wildcats or they stop themselves with penalties. 1st and 10, and Waskowitz rolling right and looking, and he completes it for the first down, and that's big number 48, Pat Springston, run out of bounds on the far side.
And Palmer came in late. It looked like, I It looked like a clean play to me, but they're going to call him for a late hit out of bounds there. It looked like the runner was still inbounds when Palmer came up and finished him off, but it is going to be chalked off there. Yep. Dead ball fell there. So Palmer, aggressive as ever, and you got to like that. I don't believe he had any intentions of hitting him late out of bounds. He just came up with a nice aggressive play, and that's the way he plays.
Well, it'll move the ball all the way out to the 47-yard line for Arvada. First down for the Reds. And the snap back to Waskowitz. Rolling left, and he throws. Flag comes into the picture. That was Little with the catch just off his shoe tops. But let's see what the penalty is about.
And I don't know what unless if the receiver came or was out of bounds and came back in, that's going to be holding. Okay, they threw it at the receiver there, and I thought
they did.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
It might have been.
Must have something to do with contact,
right.
But apparently not. Well, the holding penalty will march the Reds back 10 yards, and they really have the self-degenerating shovel out today, so to speak. They have just dug themselves hole after hole after hole.
Yeah.
First down and lots for Arvada, and a flag flying in before the ball is snapped. Don't know if they took too much time. They may have. And if that's the case, I think they've got to almost wait a little bit longer before they start rolling the play clock. Nope, it's illegal procedure. Don't know exactly if someone moved.
Yeah. I didn't see any movement. I thought it might be delay of game as well, Dave, but I guess it's illegal procedure.
First and more than lots. And the handoff to Brown. Deep. Ooh, good hit coming up there. Number 33 for the Wildcats, Chris Chavez, really got a shot in. 6'2", 195, a junior defensive lineman. Some other players getting a little bit of playing time here in the late going for Arvada West.
Bingo. Chris Chavez came up and made a solid hit. That's his third of the day.
Arvada West playing a lot of juniors, too. Going to be good next year as well. Here's Waskowitz with the screen pass to Brown. It's caught, and he has a blocker in front of him. Sidesteps one man. Now he's up the sideline and cuts down to about midfield. So a nice gain on second down, but it will still leave about 7 for the first down.
Yeah, excellent play there by Arvada. I believe that has been their most effective when they look right and go left. And this is going to come back anyways, though, because it's going to be a clipping call going against the Reds. Unfortunately, Brown made a heck of a run after he caught the ball on a little dump screen pass. But like I said, that's been their most effective of the day. When he looks left, comes back right to Brown, they seem to do good things until the yellow flags come flying out, which has been all day.
They will need some extra detergent to launder those penalty flags after this one. 6 minutes and counting left here in the ball game. Arvada trying to get something going, some semblance of momentum. 2 men right, and Waskowitz rolling right. Throws a quick pass, and it's complete. And cutting up the middle is Bartlett. Bartlett with a little bit of running room. Bartlett breaks free. Bartlett to the 40, to the 30, and he is going to score. Bartlett takes the pass and rumbles with it. 71 yards on the play. And guess what? Another penalty flag. A clip on Arvada.
Well, you know what, Dave? I didn't see the clip.
I didn't see a flag. Did someone drop that out of their pocket after?
Possibly. But Jason Hammerly, number 76, for Arvada, made an incredible block that sprung Bartlett free, and it was completely legal as far as that goes. Now, that might not be the call, but excellent jailbreak by the Reds there as Bartlett goes a long distance. But this has been the story all day for Arvada. It comes back on a penalty. a late penalty is that, and maybe Arvada should be upset. I don't know. It probably was a good call. There's been many today.
Bob Bozade is doing his baseball manager's impression with the referee. And another flag thrown. And Bob Bozade, can you throw a football coach out of the game?
I don't know, but he's well on his way, doing a Billy Martin impression almost. It looks like
and now the
he might be out of
referee
here.
admonishing one of his officials.
Yeah.
Who threw the extra flag. Well, you know, in a lot of ways, be they announcers, players executing, officials, coaches, it's been a rough Halloween here at Jeffco Stadium.
Yeah, it's been rough in the box for us up here too. Yeah, it's been a struggle for both sides. But again, he's very upset. He doesn't believe that it was a clip. I didn't personally see it. Not saying that it didn't happen, but that's a tough break for Arvada. Just when you think you have something going, it comes back. And now they're picking up. Is he picking up the flag?
And I believe
it is a touchdown now.
They have called
He's picked up the flag.
A touchdown, and here comes Dave Logan.
Oh.
Well, if nothing else, this will be a very, very interesting read in tomorrow's papers.
This is one of the more interesting things that I've ever seen on the football field, high school level, college level, professional level, regardless. The flag is thrown late. Then you have one of the coaches, or the head coach, for Arvada coming up and making his claim to stake. Then they pick up the flag and count it as a touchdown. Very strange. I don't think that's a very good job, and I don't want to go against the referees here because I know they've got a tough job. But I believe if you make the call, you got to stick with the call. You don't throw a flag just and pick it up. I don't believe in that can possibly be.
We have fans yelling at PA announcers. This is Halloween.
Yeah,
this is.
I'm waiting for the full moon to come out, Dave, because something's going very odd here.
27-14 is the score, at least on the scoreboard. The handoff as Arvada goes for two, and this is Brown trying to get some yards, and he is stopped. Flora, as usual, Chavez, and a host of other Wildcats in there on the play, so the two-point conversion fails. We have 5 minutes and 39 seconds left in this ball game. 27-14 is the score. Arvada West in the lead.
And
Logan, words
yeah.
with the official.
Yeah, Logan's back out there. He wants a full explanation of how you can throw a flag and then 5 minutes later pick it up and give him a touchdown. Now, if it wasn't a penalty in the first place, then why did you throw the flag? I don't understand that call at all. Well, as far as the defense goes for Arvada West, they've been very good, minus the two face mask penalties that they had. Other than that, they've been pretty solid. Leading the way for the Wildcats and the Purple People Eaters has been Flora. He's got 11 tackles. Right behind him is Palmer with 6. Chavez leads the group up with 3. Not a bad performance by the defense there at all.
Dave Logan obviously upset and not satisfied with the explanation he gets. It will go as a 71-yard touchdown pass from Waskowitz to Bartlett, making it 27-14, and now Arvada lined up for an onside kick here. They need 2 scores in just 5.5 minutes. Ball batted up, ends up out of bounds, and that will be an Arvada West football.
Yeah, and
Arvada West will get possession of the football and will get obviously very good field position. They will start at their own 45-yard line.
And here comes Wyatt now for Arvada West as he comes back out. I'm not sure situation why he might be out there, unless if Cavallari's hurt or Dave knows better than we do why.
Well, the pitch wide right, and that's number 28 Sims in the game, and he is absolutely snowed under. Really never had a chance there, running right. They'll lose several yards on the play.
And a nice pursuit.
Would you expect the Wildcats to be throwing the ball anymore, even though that is their modus operandi?
Yeah, well, I would think it would be highly unlikely. Regardless of how well they've thrown the ball, I think they want to run down the clock here. They want to give them a steady diet of running inside and try to keep the field position to theirs.
So on second down, Wyatt actually does look to throw and makes a good pass. Craighead couldn't hang on. I believe that's who it was. Yes,
yeah,
Jeremy Craighead. And it falls incomplete. It'll be third down and about 16.
I guess we were both wrong there, Dave. I don't know. In this situation, I don't believe that I would be throwing the ball, knowing the defense that I have and knowing the running backs that I have that they've done very well. I don't see Duran in the game. It was number 28 that was taking his spot, which is Matt Sims. So I'm not sure why Duran's not in there either.
So on third and long, Wyatt calling signals, passing formation for the Wildcats. Two men split left and right. Wyatt stands in there, gets the pass away. He really got blasted, and he knew he was going to get blasted. Pass falls incomplete, and it'll be fourth down for Arvada West, and on comes the punting unit.
Dangerous pass there by A. West. Craighead was running right up the seam. He was open, but it was a little overthrown by Wyatt, and if there would have been a free safety standing back there, that would have been picked off.
So Duran in to punt the ball away, and it is number 7, Boucher, back to receive. Beautiful spiraling kick that turns over and kicks straight right and out of bounds at the 17-yard line. So a beautiful punt by Duran, adding it up quickly. 44 yards on the punt.
Yeah,
Very
about
nice.
44, 45. Excellent kick. High spiral. That's exactly what they needed. Pin Arvada down, where they've got to take the ball now down the field. 85 yards, they've got to do it quick. They've only got about 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
Two wide receivers right, one left for Arvada. Waskowitz rolling, throws, complete. That's the big guy here, and he is wrestled down. Actually, that's Pat Springston. And he is just back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard on the play.
That was number 51, McNeely on the tackle there, the junior linebacker, 6'1", 215, makes a nice stop for the Wildcats.
Waskowitz now rolling left, looking for help, eludes a tackler, gets a block, comes back right, tucks it under, another block, and he tumbles forward to about the 29-yard line. So Waskowitz really making something out of nothing. He's close to a first down, and looks like he does have the first down, about 11 yards on the play.
Well, excellent block again by Jason Hammerly, number 76 of the Reds, as he comes. His quarterback is rolling to the right. He comes back in the aid of his quarterback and nails Joe Knight. Nice play.
Clock ticking to about 3:30 left here in the fourth quarter. The deep handoff to Brown, and he picks his way, and nothing doing. It's Palmer there wrapping him up right at the line of scrimmage. Boy, he had a little bit of a hole, and then all of a sudden there were purple shirts everywhere.
And Palmer led the charge there. So that, Arvada's got to throw the ball almost on every down here, and I know that's tough because Arvada West is going to be coming on lots of blitzes. They know they got to get the ball down in huge chunks.
2nd and 10, and back to the air goes Waskowitz, and off the mark to his receiver, Bartlett. Lash on the coverage. It's incomplete, and it brings up a third down. Waskowitz now has completed 11 passes out of 21, 203 yards, with the aid of the long 71-yard question mark touchdown pass to Bartlett just a couple of minutes ago. It has been a wild, weird afternoon here at Jeffco Stadium. 3rd and 10. And the Wildcat defense backing off a bit, more of a prevent. But here comes big number 99. That's Wunderlich. Wrestled down the quarterback. Tell you what, he moves pretty well for a big guy. Another flag flies, and we'll have to get that sorted out. But if it is against Arvada, it could possibly be declined and force a 4th and long and just about wrap this baby up.
Yeah, and I believe this is going to go against Arvada, yeah. And it is... Did he call intentional grounding there?
Well, it was announced intentional grounding. The signal was for ineligible man downfield.
And there's intentional loss of down now as well. So it's going to be 4th, and like you alluded to, a very, very long and uphill battle for the Reds.
4th and 14, and obviously if they want any chance to win this game with less than 3 minutes to go, they're going to have to go for it. They are in punt formation, as Telitz is back. We'll see if they actually kick it. And he will. Almost got a piece of it, did one man. Might have gotten a piece of it. There's number 69 in there, Joe Knight, for the Wildcats. Don't know if he was able to get a piece of it, but he got awfully close. In any case, the Wildcats will take over just inside their 40-yard line with 2 minutes and 41 seconds to go.
And you just mentioned Joe Knight, and him, Joe Knight, and number 99, Wunderlich, has been back in the backfield all day, regardless if it's special teams or on defense. They've been all over the Reds quarterback, their punter, everyone.
1st and 10, 2 minutes, 41 seconds to go, and Arvada West would no doubt like nothing better than to milk the rest of this timeout. There's the handoff to Sims, and this time he gets a little help. As usual, penalty flag flies into the pile, and after about 3 yards for Sims, we'll see what the infraction is.
Well, Dave, I'm a little shell-shocked today because I'm almost getting used to these penalty flags. When it doesn't happen, I'm wondering, wait, something's wrong here with this.
I'm
this
wondering,
play.
is it possible that half the plays in this game have had a flag?
I would have to say at least half the plays, if not more. It just seems uncommon in this particular game that there hasn't been flags thrown. And I don't know if that's – I believe that's part of the faults of the players as well as the officiating. I think they're a little happy with the flags today.
Well, the deep handoff now to Sims. Sims with a hole up the middle and dances his way up and refusing to go down. He's just about to the 45, so gaining quite a bit back on a 1st and long. Timeout on the field now, and Arvada taking that timeout with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left.
Yeah, Arvada's going to try to conserve some time here as Arvada West continues to move the ball down the field. There's only about 2:05 remaining in the game. They'll get a break at I believe at the 2-minute warning again, so they took the timeout before that happened. So they'll get an extra play in. But the main responsibility for Arvada right now is to stop that A-West powerful offensive attack.
Looking at some of the numbers for Arvada West on the day, Duran with 61 rushing yards. He had 50 at the half. Krako, 24 yards on the ground today. Chad Jones has run for 50 yards in this game. And Derek Cavallari obviously putting up some very big numbers. 11 for 14. How's that for a completion percentage? And 296 yards along with 3 touchdowns in the ballgame today. 27-14, Arvada West in the lead here and trying to wind the clock and wrap this thing up against Arvada. Handoff once again up the middle to Sims, and he plows his way forward for about a yard. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 5, and Arvada spending another timeout to stop the clock at 2 minutes.
Well, and you can see how deep this Arvada West team is. They now bring in Sims, and is still effective with the running game. They've had Duran, they've had Krako, and they've had, who's our number 36, Chad Jones, who has been equally as effective as anyone on the field. Unbelievable depth on this team.
Trying to think back to whether Arvada had called an earlier timeout. I don't believe that they had. If they hadn't, They will have one more. And will probably, presumably, use it right after this play. Cavallari up under center, I formation behind him, and the pitch, the careful pitch, and look at this. Duran looking to throw it, and he does, and he's got a man. Downfield, that's Craighead, and Craighead dancing away. Craighead dragged down at the 15-yard line. Arvada West striking for a 40-yard play to basically put the final nail in the coffin of this ball game.
Well, Logs waited pretty much till the end of the game to pull out their trickery, and it was well executed there. As you saw, Arvada had tried several of those plays and weren't as successful as Arvada West was there, but excellent play.
Jeremy Craighead now 5 catches for 145 yards in this ball game, and that puts Derek Cavallari's yardage at 336 through the air. Handoff Sims up the middle, grabs a couple, tough running. 1 minute and 40 seconds to go in this game, and the clock mercifully running.
And that's, Craighead's had an excellent day, especially with Pyatt being out and Pyatt being hurt, even though he did score that touchdown. Craighead, on the year up to this game, had 19 receptions, 371 yards receiving, 19.5 yards per catch, and 3 touchdowns. He added one again today and makes the nice catch there. So they've got 2 potent receivers, and then they still have Duran coming out of the backfield, who caught a little slant pattern and went for the score as well today. So
they do have a lot of weapons. Second down, about 6, and the handoff, this time right side, and breaking outside is Sims and dancing his way inside the 5-yard line. Ball hit the ground, but I believe it was blown dead at about the 3.
Yeah, excellent run by Sims. Again, you see the depth that this team has. Dave Logan can go to Sims and still have confidence that they're going to get the ball down the field. He can bring in Wyatt at quarterback, still feel that they can throw it. Unbelievable talent on this team, and they're showing it here in rare form with about 35 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter.
It is a 1st and goal. It's at about the 3. This time Sims hit in the backfield. He'll lose a yard or 2. And the clock running inside 25 seconds. That may do it. We'll see whether or not Arvada West bothers to run another play. Arvada has no timeouts.
Yeah. So Arvada West does not have to, as you know, does not have to run a play here.
And
I don't think they will. Yeah.
So 27-14 will be our final on a rough, to say the least, Halloween Saturday here at Jeffco Stadium. For Joe Mastrioni, I'm David Kale. You've been watching a presentation from Wildcat TV Network along with Abstract Video. Happy to bring this game for you today. Arvada West moving to 7-2 overall, 3-2 in the Jeffco Conference with a 27-14 victory over Arvada. So long and thanks from Jeffco Stadium.